Imagine dominating a fight, landing clean shots, and controlling the action only to lose on the scorecards in the end.
That's exactly what happened when Suleiman Segawa faced Bruce Carrington at Madison Square Garden.
In what's being called a shocking hometown decision, fans were left stunned and furious as Carrington was awarded a controversial victory, despite Segawa seemingly outboxing him from start to finish.
So, what went down? And why are people saying this decision was a gift? Let's break it all down.
Bruce Carrington claimed a highly controversial victory through a majority decision in a 10-round featherweight bout against Suleiman Segawa on Friday night at Madison Square Garden in New York. Despite Carrington being a local fighter with a large following in New York, the fans at ringside loudly booed the outcome, showing their displeasure with the judge's decision.
This reaction was particularly surprising since Carrington, being from New York, would typically enjoy hometown support.
However, many fans felt the decision was unjust, and social media was flooded with criticism, calling it a gift decision in favor of Carrington. Many believed it to be a classic case of hometown bias, where the local fighter was awarded a victory he did not earn. Observers felt that Carrington, at best, might have won 3 rounds in the entire fight, as he was largely outboxed and outworked by the more skilled and active Segawa. Coming into the fight, Carrington was the heavy favorite due to his 1 WBA and 2 WBC rankings, but once the bout began, it was Segawa who took control. Segawa dominated nearly every round with superior boxing and more frequent punches, making it clear he was the more experienced fighter in the ring that night. The official scorecards read 95-95, 97-93, and 97-93 in favor of Carrington, but many found those wide margins troubling, as there was little evidence to support such a decisive win for Carrington. In fact, Boxing 247 had scored the fight 99-91 in favor of Segawa, reflecting how one-sided the match appeared. Even ESPN's Tim Bradley expressed shock at the judges' scores, which many felt did not align with what happened in the ring. Segawa made a strong impact early in the fight when he rocked Carrington in the second round with a powerful left hand to the head. This was followed by an impressive 8-punch combination that left Carrington visibly shaken and struggling to regain his composure. As Carrington stumbled back to his corner at the end of the round, it was clear he was in trouble, walking on unsteady legs. The following rounds didn't get any easier for Carrington. In rounds 3 and 4, Segawa continued to outmaneuver him, dodging his punches effortlessly while landing sharp, looping punches in return. Whenever Carrington managed to land a punch, Segawa would quickly counter with combinations, often throwing punches in 2s and 3s. By the 5th round, Carrington's punch output dropped significantly, likely because he was wary of the hard shots Segawa kept landing. Segawa's power and precision seemed to discourage Carrington from engaging as aggressively as he needed to. In the later rounds, Carrington struggled to mount any real offense. Even when he attempted a comeback in the final round, his punches missed the mark, and Segawa continued to land the cleaner, more effective shots. At the end of the 10th round, Segawa appeared to be the clear winner in the eyes of most spectators, yet the official decision told a very different story. The aftermath of the fight left many boxing fans and analysts questioning the integrity of the judging. Social media was ablaze with criticism, not just from fans but from fellow boxers and commentators as well. Many felt that the wide scorecards in favor of Carrington, especially the 97-93 scores, didn't reflect the action that unfolded in the ring. It was clear that Segawa had dominated most of the rounds, yet the final verdict seemed to disregard his superior performance. This has reignited the long-standing debate in boxing regarding hometown decisions, where fighters from the area are believed to receive favorable judging simply due to their local support. Such controversies can tarnish the sport's reputation and lead to growing distrust among fans. Carrington, who entered the fight with much hype due to his high rankings and local backing, now faces a challenge to his reputation. Many believe that this fight was supposed to be a showcase of his skills, a stepping stone toward even bigger fights given his 1 WBA and 2 WBC status. However, instead of proving his dominance in the featherweight division, Carrington left the ring with more questions surrounding his abilities. The fight exposed certain weaknesses in his game, particularly in handling more experienced and aggressive opponents like Segawa. If he continues to face elite competition, Carrington will need to make significant adjustments to avoid a repeat of this performance, where he was outclassed for most of the bout. For Segawa, the loss was especially heartbreaking, given how well he performed. Despite being 33 years old and not favored to win, Segawa showed tremendous skill, poise, and power throughout the fight. He consistently outboxed Carrington, forcing him to fight on the back foot and rarely giving him a chance to dictate the pace. Many felt that Segawa should have walked away with his hand raised, and some analysts believe he might still benefit from this performance despite the official loss. His ability to handle a highly ranked opponent like Carrington could open doors for future opportunities against other top contenders in the featherweight division. While the loss was controversial, Segawa's stock likely rose in the eyes of those who value skill and ring generalship over official scorecards. This fight, with its controversial outcome, serves as a reminder of how subjective boxing can be. Even with all the training, tactics, and preparation that go into a fight, much of the outcome can hinge on the opinions of 3 judges sitting ringside. When those judges are influenced by external factors, such as the local support of a fighter or a perceived expectation of who should win, the integrity of the sport is called into question. In the aftermath of this fight, there have been renewed calls for reforms in the judging system, whether through better training for judges, more transparency in how fights are scored, or even the adoption of new technologies to assist in the scoring process. Fans and fighters alike want to ensure that boxing's outcomes are fair and truly reflect the efforts and skills displayed in the ring. As the dust settles from this controversial fight, it's clear that the discussion won't end anytime soon. The decision in favor of Bruce Carrington may stand officially, but the outcry from fans and boxing analysts highlights a deeper issue within the sport. Moments like these remind us how important fair and accurate judging is for the integrity of boxing, and how easily a fighter's reputation can be affected by a questionable decision. While Carrington walks away with a victory on paper, the real question is how he will respond in the future. Will he rise to the occasion, silence his critics, and prove he belongs at the top of the featherweight division, or will this fight mark the beginning of a more challenging road ahead? For Suleiman Segawa, though he didn't get the decision, his performance spoke volumes. In the eyes of many, he was the true victor of the night, and his resilience and skill have undoubtedly earned him respect across the boxing community. Fans and fighters alike want to ensure that boxing's outcomes are fair and truly reflect the efforts and skills displayed in the ring. As the dust settles from this controversial fight, it's clear that the discussion won't end anytime soon. The decision in favor of Bruce Carrington may stand officially, but the outcry from fans and boxing analysts highlights a deeper issue within the sport. Moments like these remind us how important fair and accurate judging is for the integrity of boxing, and how easily a fighter's reputation can be affected by a questionable decision. While Segawa's journey doesn't end here, if anything, this fight has shown that he still has much to offer in the ring. As the spotlight moves on, both fighters will have their own paths to follow, but this fight will be remembered as a turning point in their careers, and perhaps even as a catalyst for necessary changes in the way boxing is judged.